Get in the peace signs. All right, Snow Tsunami, no Adagio. Team Clytia, actually, the ones that say no Sky.
Yeah, they're just making sure that as long as they're able to take out that Sky, Snow Tsunami cannot pick that up first. And we have seen a lot of Sky play coming out of Snow Tsunami. They know the positioning really well. They know to be very aggressive in that early game.
All right, but something that you keep bringing up, Jinyi, if you see a Lance, you take a Sky. Clytia don't have that option.
Yeah, they banned out Sky, potentially one of their best heroes, and a great counter to the Lance there. Okay, so we're going to counter the Lance with an Arden. Now, is this where you might want to take that Celeste away from the side? Because Lance-Celeste combos seems to be pretty devastating. Yeah, and I think Celeste is not a bad choice because we did see Team Clytia pick up Celeste yesterday. I think it did work quite well. So it's a good choice because you can poke away with those Helios. All right, so Snow, 2 seconds to figure it out. It will be the Celeste roam.
Yeah, and this is something that Snow does extremely well. It's not to the fact that they secure composition that they're very comfortable with, but they know how to draft against their opponents. They know how to grab something that is devastating of their opponents.
Okay, so got 10 seconds to figure out what exactly is going to be devastating here. Could go into Takas. We've seen some Takas that go up against some of these squishies. They say that, well, you're not going to see it anymore because we do have to throw some kind of CP on top of this, but a glaive could almost do the same job.
Yeah, and one of the big things here is you do have that glaive in that early game. However, you're dealing with a lot of mobility, so you have to set up everything for Lance. Or to get the impale down, to get that root out, Snow Tsunami is going to have to really overextend themselves a little bit. But with that Celeste in that back line, I feel like they're going to play very passively in that early game.
Okay, so glaive, black feather with that Lance. Last pick, Rona. We've actually seen this combo before. Well, maybe not with the Arden, but we'll have to see how it works out with Snow Tsunami. And taking us into the action will once more be Axon, Jackson, and Zekin.
All right, thank you for Court. We got a Rona on the fold. Very excited to see that one. We've seen it really come alive in 1.18 along with a few other things. Clytia versus Snow Tsunami. It should be an excellent match.
Yeah, I'm looking very forward to this one. I'd really like to see Rona paired with Celeste because the core collapse on top of the healer Genesis, as you saw yesterday, there was that one combination where Rona jumped in, red mist, and the heals went off, and everyone died.
Yeah, it is a ridiculous amount of area of effect damage very, very quickly, and it is, of course, very hard to deal with someone in their front line who does so much damage and deal with the extreme backline threat of a Celeste.
Yeah, it's actually very interesting because Dark Energy is on that Black Feather, and it's going to be very tough for him to stick to the backline of Snow, and we really have to see how does this play out for both teams.
All right, well, we're jumping onto the Halcyon Fold, ladies and gentlemen, for the first game of Snow Tsunami versus Team Clytia. Snow Tsunami, old school team here in Vainglory. Clytia, the new kids on the block. Who's going to come out ahead? Zekin, is going to be an awesome series.
Oh yeah, for sure. And right now, Aster on that Lance is going to be so pivotal in this matchup because he really has to make sure Look At Me stays off of Dark Energy, and it's really up to him to peel for his backline. And even though they all want to dive in together, it's going to be very, very tricky for them.
Oh, absolutely. And Aster yesterday played such incredible games on Lance. He's really been one of the players to adapt to the new hero the quickest. He's landed so many awesome impales, Githian walls, all that jazz. No Life, want to touch on this real quick. Dark Energy poking him out of lane so quickly.
Yeah, Dark Energy doing a lot of damage to No Life, but No Life was planning on rotating down anyway because he wanted to pick up that energy battery, and having a little bit more sustain in lane for Celeste is just going to be so pivotal in this matchup against Black Feather, who doesn't rely on energy at all, and instead is just using his focus.
Yeah, the only energy he relies on is Dark Energy, as that is his name. Clytia looking to make some good damage in the lane in this early game. The matchup as a whole, how does this one play out? Are you expecting Black Feather to keep this pressure up? Is that why we're seeing Siska up in lane?
Yeah, Black Feather is definitely going to be able to put a little bit more pressure onto Celeste than Celeste will be able to put onto him because he has book abilities, but we do see a little bit of him taking a little bit of damage in that lane because Siska is there backing up No Life.
Yeah, and that's certainly something which is working out nicely for Tsunami so far. Aster wants to turn this one around a little bit. Githian wall onto Siska, but there's no follow-up. Dark Energy too low already from No Life's poke to commit to anything there as Look At Me comes up as well. Aster taking quite a bit of damage. That has really given Snow Tsunami some breathing room to move into the jungle here, start to put pressure onto the side of Tsunami's map.
Yeah, but on the other side, we do see John immediately rotating into the side of Snow Tsunami's jungle, and he does take a couple camps away for himself.
Not bad at all. He's got to be careful not to overstay. Might go for the recall here. Might decide to go for the back camps. Look At Me should find him if he does. Oh, did he see the camps go around the corner? He did. Look At Me wants to go for the fight now. John very low already. He did, I think, pick up one of those camps. I didn't quite catch it, but John, having already used Afterburn, is likely going to be the first casualty of the game here. He's got no way out. Tsunami find themselves first blood of the series.
Yeah, so very, very good pickup for Look at me right there.
Dark Energy going down to a minion attack. No Life finds another. That was an ace for Snow Tsunami. Where did that come from?
And that was completely unexpected. Both sides of Team Clytia. The John getting caught in the jungle, Dark Energy and Aster taking a fight against No Life and Sosiska in lane. It was completely unexpected. They were completely outplayed at all points on the map.
Yeah, Clytia, they got to be sweating after that. Might have some nerves coming into their first game of day 2 here. Tsunami, they're veterans of the Halcyon Fold. However, they certainly do not get nervous in situations like this. Can they take the first turret here? It certainly looks like they will. No Life able to get away as well. Everything is going Tsunami's way right now.
Yeah, and what is this? This top push. Taking a turret at 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Absolutely incredible play coming out from Snow Tsunami.
Yeah, very, very nice work from them to build such a tremendous lead so early on. They're just about under 1,000 gold in the lead, which is actually, I mean, that is a bit surprising. You can see there's a CS differential between some of these players across both teams. No Life, oh, he gets rooted up. That could be bad. Afterburn as well. He's going to be going down. Clytia, they finally answer in some way. Look at me, wants to go for the fight, though, with Sosiska. 2 versus 3. This is a bold decision, Zekant. I like the fact that Look at me's just backing away here. That was too deep.
Yeah, it was a little bit dangerous for the side of Snow Tsunami. However, the player we do have to watch out for is Look at me. We really will be looking at him in this battle because it's really up to him to get into the... Because it's a triple melee comp coming out from Team Clytia. If they are able to get that red mist in the middle of all 3 of them, he is going to be absolutely doing devastating amounts of damage. But if he gets pushed away by Aster, if he goes in too early and gets knocked away by either Glaive or Lance, he's going to be doing absolutely nothing.
All right, so let's take a look at the build paths of both of these teams for just a second. Dark Energy and John going for the weapon power. Each, on the flip side, Tsunami, they've mixed up their damage types. Do you think this is going to work out for Clytia?
I think it can work out for both sides. Honestly, I do expect to see a very early bonus off from John after he finishes the Sorrow Blade. So it's really good up to Dark Energy to do a lot of damage because he's likely to go for a Serpent's Mask and then probably a bonus off for himself.
Do you think he should skip the Shiver Steel here just because they kind of want to brute force onto Snow Tsunami?
The Shiver Steel will be very useful to stick to No Life, but it doesn't really matter for the side of Team Clytia because they have so many ways to engage. Aster on that Lance, he can roll in. John, he has the Afterburn, and Dark Energy, well, he's blocked that. He can do anything he wants.
Exactly. I mean, this is really what it's all about at the top level of play. You've got to optimize your item builds. You don't just want to go for something standard. You want to go for what the situation demands. And when you have so many engagement tools, like Zekan just said, it's definitely possible for Clytia to skip some of these items that really help them with that. If they were to have a lack of it, it would make more sense. Right now, we've got 3 kills to the 1. Snow Tsunami leading in that regard. They're also about 600 golden lead, having taken a turret very early on, but the action has kind of calmed down for the time being.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see. I would like to see a little more scout shots coming out from the side of Snow Tsunami because they do have a lot of control in this lane because the first turret is already down so early on. And right now, we do see them putting a lot of pressure in lane, though I do expect to see their junglers, both Sosiska and Look at me, to rotate down into the jungle very soon.
Man, look at No Life, just getting so much farm all in one big chunk. He's got around 1,000 gold in his inventory, enough to make his way towards some of these bigger items. We do have Aster finishing up his Fountain of Renewal well on time. 6 minutes is not too bad. That's going to help a great deal on the next fight.
Yeah, and so Sosiska has not quite picked his own up yet. He has the Iron Guard, he has the boots, but right now Aster is just a little bit ahead on that roaming roll.
Okay, so Goldmine started off here by Snow Tsunami, but they've been forced back. John, a very threatening presence on the front line of Clytia, has the ability to Afterburn in, catch someone out. We don't have the reflex blocks that Tsunami would like to really contest that at this point. It's very difficult for them to avoid any engage like that. And Clytia, even though they've been behind for most of the game, are able to take the Goldmine due to that threat.
Yeah, so Clytia actually a very smart rotation coming out from them. Immediately as Snow Tsunami backs off from the Goldmine, they take control of that position and just take it for themselves. So taking a little gold for themselves, they're only down 300 gold now, which is very surprising considering they did already lose their first turret.
I mean, I really think it was just overextension earlier that bit them in the butt. Now, Snow Tsunami, it's like I said, they've got to respect things like that Afterburn, the engagement that we were talking about that Clytia has. Doesn't have a good answer yet. So Snow Tsunami, they just need to ramp up a little bit more.
However, one thing to watch out for is there's not that much defense being built on the side of Team Clytia. So if Look at me gets to hit level 6, he already has his resurrection. He's level 7, and he gets a little bit of damage. He's going to be absolutely devastating, and he's going to be able to easily protect No Life because all he has to do is stand on top of No Life, and whenever Team Clytia comes in to engage, he just starts that red mist.
Yeah, that is a very, very good point. Right now, Snow Tsunami, they're just trying to farm up, though. No Life wants, of course, to hit that level 8 we were talking about last game, get the overdrive on Heliogenesis. Clytia, they're coming in right now, and there's no vision. No Life could be caught out. There's the Afterburn. Some good damage, but Siska answering with the Gauntlet. No Life needs to kite. Solar Storm coming across. It locks him in. Dark Energy finding good damage as a result, but No Life gets the first kill. He's still alive. Acitor gets the return kill, but Tsunami find 2 for the over-aggression of Clytia. They want more as well. Githian Wall buying some time. That stall wall doing work for Acitor.
And that was certainly over-aggression coming out from the side of Team Clytia. They had so much positional advantage right there. They should have been able to just do some damage to the turret and potentially even take it down. But instead, they go for a dive. It was very aggressive, and it could have paid off. But so Siska, just perfect timing, coming in with the Fountain, coming in with the Vanguard, and the Gauntlet, just barely keeping No Life alive.
You know, this is something that you might expect from Clytia, though, the over-aggression in the early game. In the interviews we had with the players, they talked a lot about the fact that they feel like if they win the jungle early on, they can snowball the game, and we kind of saw that in their matches yesterday. This time around, though, Snow Tsunami not falling victim to the aggression of Clytia. They're answering it perfectly.
Yeah, and so Tsunami definitely returning with some aggression of their own, even though most of the times where they are winning fights is because Team Clytia is the one going for the engages. But Snow Tsunami, they are waiting for the level 8 on Celeste. The moment he has that long-range Heliogenesis, it's going to be very, very hard for Team Clytia to engage.
And it's not long until No Life does hit that level 8. Looking at the experience bar, he's about 20% off. That's not going to take too long. We do see the Sorrow Blade completed for John, though, so some power spikes on the flip side as well. Clytia could be in a better position fighting later on.
Yeah, I do expect Dark Energy to go for that Serpent Assassin very, very soon. He's going to be very tough to take down, especially between his Rose Offensive and just how much lifesteal he will have. But here we see Team Clytia actually starting up the gold mine once again. This is a little bit risky.
Doesn't look like Snow Tsunami really want to answer just yet, though. They're trying to prioritize the lane. This is going to give them the experience they need for No Life to hit level 8. He just hit it, so he's going to have that overdrive now. It was only a decent payout for Clytia. Maybe this is an exchange they wanted to make. Here comes the engage, though. John trying to get onto No Life. He gets the afterburn, but this follow-up is very slow. No Life in the middle of things. He can't get out of there, but he has the damage. Red mist coming out of, look at me, obliterate the front line of Clytia. They, even when they have the positioning to stick on top of No Life, it doesn't seem like they have the damage just yet.
And this is exactly what I was talking about. Look at me has such an easy time using that red mist when you know Team Clytia is going to be diving onto No Life. The moment that they all jumped in, look at me, he started up his red mist, he landed his Into the Fray, he had all the rage that he wanted, and he was just able to spin for days.
Man, look at this. No Life, I mean, he's stuck there. He cannot move, but the fountain just keeping him barely alive. It was ridiculous that he did not go down there.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic play coming out from the entire team of Snow Tsunami. They know what their game plan is. They know they have to keep No Life alive. And the moment that No Life doesn't go down, there is no chance that Team Clytia has any chance at winning those engagements.
You know, this is something we talked about earlier as well, though, where Look at Me is another threat for Tsunami. You can't just prioritize No Life, because if everyone's stacking on top of him, Red Mist is just going to wipe you out. And that's exactly what happened there. It's tough for Clytia with the draft that they've got for themselves to find good fights when they're so far behind. How do they find the good fights?
So it's really up to Team Clytia to use their knockbacks to their advantage. They have Glaive, they have Lance, they have so much CC for the side of Snow Tsunami that whenever Look at Me starts his red mist, he should immediately be knocked back by Afterburn, or he should be knocked back against the wall. There should be no chance for him to just constantly stand there and spin.
That is an interesting way of looking at it. I feel like Clytia hasn't been trying to do that just yet. It's something they need to adapt to if they want to make this one work. Acitor, he's had a decent game on this Lance here. 1 for 2 for 1. He's not died too many times, considering it's 8 kills on Snow Tsunami. But this is not the same performance we've seen out of him previously on this hero.
Yeah, it's looking very, very tricky. You get the double root, and this could be an engage.
But the Githian wall kind of stopping it, actually. They decided they didn't want to go for it. Look at Me on the front line, trying to find the damage as No Life gets the poke from behind. Doing an excellent job there. Red Mist forcing John to back away with that afterburn. Tsunami in complete control of the game.
Yeah, and things are looking very, very dicey for the side of Team Clytia right now. Acitor just doing a little bit of damage. He knows that John has back to his base to get a little bit of healing done. But Snow Tsunami right now, they're in complete control. They have the long range from Celeste, and it's very hard for Team Clytia to engage without using the tools they need to fight. Because once the afterburn is used, Look at Me has free reign. Acitor, as long as he's not able to get Look at Me near a wall, is not going to be able to stop him from using that red mist.
All right, so taking stock of the game as a whole, I mean, it's not a tremendous gold lead for Snow Tsunami. They're only about 1,000 ahead of their opponents, even though they have many more kills. but at 12 minutes in, this is a good position to be in for them. They're trying to keep the pressure up as Look At Me goes in for the fight. Githyan Wall this time used to disengage just a little bit, but look at this. The red mist doing so much damage. Great gauntlet coming through from Sisiska. Acitor has nowhere to go. Solar Storm annihilates him. And now with the man advantage, Snow Tsunami starting to push onto the turret. Can John and Dark Energy defend? They need to find some kind of an opening to pick any of the heroes on Snow, but Look At Me has another red mist. He's sustaining up. He gets knocked out of the core collapse. Dark Energy and John not having the best synergy there. It's a free turret for Tsunami.
Yeah, Snow Tsunami is so well versed in these engagements because you saw right there, Look At Me, he dropped fairly low, so Siska popped the fountain. Look At Me has the lifesteal from the Surface Mass, and they know Look At Me has no chance of going down right there. Even though both the carries of Team Clytia are up and just wailing on him, he is not going down.
Okay, so right now, Snow Tsunami in this big lead. We've got Kraken coming up in 2 minutes. Clytia, if they try and pick a fight around that Kraken, can they win it?
I definitely think that Team Clytia has the advantage in fights if they can get the proper engage. If they can get in without using the afterburn, if they can get in with while Snow Tsunami is standing near a wall, they can definitely take these fights. But it's really up to them to properly time their abilities and make sure that they Look At Me does not do so much damage to their team.
Look At Me has been doing a spectacular job so far, not dying yet. 3 for 0 for 3. He's got the Bone Saw and the Serpent's Mask. Tons and tons of damage. Picking up a weapon infusion now. Of course, Snow Tsunami know that fairly soon there's going to be a big fight that could determine the game. Makes sense to get those right away. Also, No Life got a lot of items too. On the flip side, Clytia, they're lagging behind a little bit in their progression.
Yeah, I think Clytia, they did buy a couple infusions as we have another engagement.
Yeah, Acitor wants to go into No Life, though, does find that Impale. No Life trying to kite backwards. Good core collapse, but he is not going to go down. Dark Energy wants to get on the back line, but he's the only one left to do so. Falling quite quickly as Sisiska actually duking it out with John here. Roamer versus Jungler. Sisiska should fall, surely. Oh, my lord. I cannot believe that he lived there, but Snow Tsunami with another ace. 12 kills to 2 are going to be able to push into the base here. They've only got 2 turrets standing between them and the Crystal.
Yeah, and so Siska just barely staying alive, pushing Arden to the limit. And right there, such well-played fights by Tsunami once again. Look at me. Once again, red mist. Just keep spinning, doing so much damage to Team Clytia. And right here, you can see John just fighting Siska.
So close. It's gotta hurt. It's gotta hurt.
One more hit would have done it. The Aspen doesn't take him down, and it's just so sad.
I think it was the Arden passive that kept him alive there.
Yeah.
Just barely. Really close between John and Sisiska right there. But Tsunami come out ahead, and they're using that advantage to get some pressure onto the map. They know Kraken is about to spawn. In fact, it has just spawned, and they're likely going to be trying to take this one away immediately.
Yeah, it should be interesting for the side of Team Clytia because Team Clytia actually can come in and fight for this, as we do see them here now. And Team Tsunami, they're just dancing around and waiting for...
Oh, Dark Energy getting jumped on right away here, though, is Look At Me on the front line doing a lot of damage. No Life impaled yet again. This time, can they take him down? He's trying to kite around. Solar Storm lands onto everyone. Every single fight. Snow Tsunami stacks on top of one another, gets the AoE down, and Clytia gets annihilated. They have not had a good fight in quite some time, and it doesn't look like they're going to this game.
Yeah, and it looks like Team Clytia is going to be taken down by Snow pretty soon. And right now, they do have... Okay, are they going to be able to catch Sean?
I guess, but maybe just taking the Kraken would have been better.
Or both. Why not?
Actually, if they can stop John from recalling here, I suppose they could probably just 2 versus 2 when the respawns come up.
Okay, that's
But they're going to take the kill. I mean, they want the kill. I can understand that.
So they have Kraken, they have 3 members on the board, and Team Clytia only has 2. Can they defend this? It's going to be very tough. Only 2 turrets are remaining, and Snow Tsunami, they're almost all going to be infused up. This is so dangerous for Clytia. I don't actually think they will be able to mount this defense.
The only way this works is if Acitor gets several Githyan walls into like the Vein Crystal or the turrets. You do kind of have that advantage playing Lance in the base, where when you're trying to kill a Vein Crystal, that makes it very easy for him to get the stuns and crowd control down. But Snow Tsunami, they've got a plethora of items right now. Pushing in with the Kraken is going to be very difficult. Nigh on impossible for Clytia to defend this one. You can see No Life getting jumped on again, but Acitor too far ahead of his team. They're not even stacking this time. No Life untouched. John goes onto the back line. No Life kiting back again. Sisiska with a beautiful gauntlet. Solar Storm, it wrecks the team of Clytia. No one even really taking damage from Snow Tsunami. This has been one of the most definitive wins of the tournament so far. Snow Tsunami taking game 1 against Team Clytia.
Yeah, this comes down to Snow Tsunami. They're playing like clockwork. They know exactly what their team comp is designed to do. They know exactly what Team Clytia is trying to do, and they're playing a perfect counter game.
All right, so game one, Snow Tsunami looked unbelievably strong. Clytia, the new kids on the block, could not upset in this match the veterans in Snow Tsunami, but there's at least one more game to go. We've seen them reverse sweep before. Maybe they
because Team Snow is now on match point to get into that top 4 situation, and that's going to leave Team Clytia fighting for their life in the decider rounds a little bit later, Jinyu.
Yeah, well, I think Team Snow are just desperate to try and get to Team Secret again. Because, you know, there is a bit of a grudge match there, but I think just Team Snow in that first game was just so wonderful, and I really liked No Life Celeste. He was really waiting so they're all grouped together and then using his Solar Storm to hit all 3 of them, and because he had the Eve of Harvest, he was able to sustain a little bit more as well.
All right, so we'll have to see what game 2 has in store. No Kestrel, no Sky once more. Team Clytia, unfortunately, just not going to be landing any Skies today. Rome?
I feel like Clytia actually should have left that Sky open for them to secure it, because they feel like Team Snow Tsunami, usually they don't tend to grab their jungle carry first, especially when it's either a Sky or a Cruel. Okay. They tend to like build a composition and wait for their opponents so they can counter it. That's how they approach the drafting.
All right, well, an Adagio first pick is definitely flexible. Looks like it might actually be a Lance here for the first, and it is, Jinyu.
Yeah, so I think Snow Tsunami are going to be... They're going to be going for that buff Ringo, especially with Araxi there on the roster. You know, he's or No Life actually, formerly Araxi.
Right.
I think that's going to be a really strong composition if they do manage to do that. But of course, that Lance is going to be a bit of a hassle, and they're going to have to need Snow Tsunami are really going to need effective front line there.
I was thinking of Ataka, but a Glaive can almost get the same thing done if it is going to be that Ringo. Well, it depends on what kind of stage of the game we actually get to. I mean, that felt like a really good pace from Snow Tsunami, but they didn't end it off in the before 15-minute mark. So another Rona to go with that Adagio. Oh, and an Arden roam.
Yeah, I felt like either the Rona or the Black Feather would have done a lot better than the Ringo, due to the fact that you are going up against Lance, you are going up against Glaive. You do want a way to really get out, and Ringo is a very big commitment. Once he gets too deep, if he gets rooted down, if he gets stunned, he's pretty much dead.
Right, okay, so last pick, I'm really not thinking it's going to be a Saw, not with a Lance and a Glaive. Another Celeste, is going to be on deck, and Team Clytia is actually going to clinch it this round. We'll have to see if they can put a point on the board, otherwise they are going to be playing our last match of the day later on in the decider round. So let's get right to it and into the fold with Action Jackson and Zekin.
Okay, so game 1, very dominant performance from Snow Tsunami. Clytia, they had the comeback in the reverse sweep yesterday. Maybe they can do it again. Looking at the compositions, do you think that that is likely?
I actually think I love Team Clytia's team composition right there. The Celeste pick into the Rona, Arden, and Adagio is going to give Team Clytia a fairly significant advantage because she will be able to keep her range in these fights. And if Rona ever jumps in, there's a Lance and a Glaive ready for her.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely something a bit different than last game, where there wasn't a great way to deal with the Rona whilst also pressuring the Celeste. So we're going to have to see how it pans out. Clytia, they have their backs against the wall. If they lose this game, they fall into the elimination bracket. Snow Tsunami trying to get across into the semifinals right away. It's going to be an awesome game, guys. Let's get onto the fold and get this one underway.
Yeah, the most important thing in this matchup is the Celeste versus Adagio matchup, because if Dark Energy falls too far behind, I kind of do expect him to fall a little behind, because No Life on that Adagio is going to be able to put immense pressure out onto that Celeste because of the additional range that Adagio has over Celeste. However, if Dark Energy is able to keep up his farm and to scale, at least get his Broken Myth, he's going to be a very, very dominant force in every single team fight.
All right, so let's look on the other side at Snow Tsunami and how their composition functions. It's a buff composition, probably with the Adagio, but we've not seen much buff Rona comps. So how does that one work?
Buff Rona comps is actually something we've seen a lot from Snow Tsunami in the past. In the Autumn Championships, we did see a very, very powerful Rona coming out from Look At Me. And this time around, he is once again playing that Rona in addition to Adagio. Even though his comp has been slightly tuned back a little bit, it's still incredibly potent.
All right, we'll have to see if Snow Tsunami can make it work for themselves. Right now, Clytia grouped up with 3 members in the lane, trying to find a little bit of pressure down onto the turret. Tsunami, they're the ones playing a bit passively here, reacting to the movements of Clytia. Does Clytia have the jungle here?
Clytia definitely has a very strong jungle engaged, but right now, John and Astra are on Lance and Glaive. Up against the Arden and Rona, it's going to be a very, very close battle, I feel, because I expect No Life to be able to pressure Dark Energy in lane, which means that he will be able to rotate down a little bit faster. You see Dark Energy actually able to push the lane out a little bit right now, but that is due to his junglers both coming up to lane to assist him earlier.
Yeah, that certainly relieved some of the pressure on Dark Energy, let him get a bit of pressure, in fact, across onto No Life. Look at me just moving forward to the shop right now, going to pick up a light armor and a light shield. not going for too much damage early on here, but Clytia starting to make those aggressive moves again into the enemy tri-bush. You can see No Life and Siska nearby. They might try and jump on to Acitor here. Dark Energy also rotating. Could have that 3v3 fight. Acitor getting the route there onto No Life. Had he missed, that could have been really bad.
Yeah, if he got stuck there with the Impale, especially because you do get stuck yourself for a little bit if you do miss, he would have taken a lot of damage from the status No Tsunami. However, he was able to land it and just back off immediately as he saw the rest of the Tsunami just waiting in the wings.
Okay, so very slow pace to this game. Not so dissimilar from what we saw earlier on in the tournament, although last game was very explosive in comparison. It seems like Clytia, they are playing a bit differently here. We were talking about the fact that they like to play aggressive early game compositions. They like to take their advantage in the early game. This time around, they're being a lot more methodical and they're not taking chances they can't afford to.
Yeah, this is actually very good coming out from Team Clytia because they do need to get Dark Energy to at least his first core item, most likely that Broken Myth. And right now he's doing extremely well. 27 CS to his name to the 24 of No Life. He's doing very well in a matchup where the other side has the favor.
Okay, so Acitor just covering the lane right now as you saw Dark Energy rotating down to the store. John in a very bad position. He's got good damage onto No Life. No Life has to be careful here. Impale onto 2. Acitor didn't have the backup to secure the kill though. Clytia, that felt a little bit weird. I feel like maybe they could have turned the fight around if they just made the decision.
Yeah, it was very interesting because John, he was caught out technically, but he did have the Afterburn. If he went Afterburn the other way, he might
Acitor, that's a lot of damage. Siska picking up the first blood in game 2. Now John, the new target. He's got the Afterburn. Siska has the damage though. Double kill coming across for the roamer of Snow Tsunami in their game 2. They're off to a great start.
Who needs carry Ronas anyway? We have an Arden on our hands.
No need.
All right, looks like No Life, he does have the triple crystal bit right now, which means that he will have fairly strong sustain in this lane. And he's going to be, as you see, he's just to constantly pressure Dark Energy, and especially if he is able to get a little bit of CS lead, I do expect Stone Tsunami, and even if he doesn't, we still should expect Stone Tsunami to constantly invade the jungle because they have the lane advantage.
Oh, that's interesting. So we might see some aggression there. Let's have a look at this replay, though, as Acitor starts to make his way down. He gets spotted by the scout trap. That probably spelled his death.
Yeah, so he gets taken out immediately by Siska, and so Siska is actually able to use his blood. You might watch right here. The blood for blood barely connects right before the Afterburn comes in.
That was rather close. I'd be a little bit salty if I were John, probably.
Just a little bit, but no time for that. Right now, he is in the middle of a match right now, and he
gotta stay focused.
Yes, gotta stay calm, collected, and just kill your opponents.
John is a cool character, coming back up into the lane looking for some kind of engagement. Afterburn not going to have a good target right now, though. No Life playing around the top of that lane, making it hard for the engagement out of Acitor as he goes in for the Impale. John forced back with Look at Me making the rotation through. Snow Tsunami playing together very smartly to deal with Clytia's early CC advantage.
Yeah, you can see Snow Tsunami just pressuring a lane and taking advantage in the jungle. They're constantly pushing a lane, rotating down, getting a little bit more farm themselves, and Acitor gets jumped on, takes a little bit damage. He's probably not going to go down.
Yeah, he's not going to go down, but he does get significantly bruised. Look at Me. No one from Clytia could really engage onto him. A lot of the crowd control had already been burned, and with the red mist ticking away, he was just sustaining so much. Now John could get caught out here if he's not careful, going for those back camps. Look at Me, though, not finding the window of opportunity. He wants to jump in. Just going to try and steal away the camps instead. John actually using Blood Song to get one of those back for himself as Acitor makes his way down. Dark Energy has returned from lane, so maybe Clytia have the opportunity to go for some kind of engagement. Doesn't look like it. Acitor just taking too much damage from Look at Me, though.
Yeah, he's just going to chase him off in the jungle, though, and John right now is not backing him up because he knows that, well, Acitor actually playing a little bit over-aggressive right there.
That's bold. I would not do that. You don't have combat rule yet, so it's hard to get away from that situation. But No Life and Siska, they want to prioritize the lane. Arden heading up there just to stop John from having an opportunity to kill Adagio.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to watch this play out because right now, No Life and Look at Me are doing extremely well for themselves, 55 CS and 39 respectively. And right now, Acitor continues to take a little bit of poke damage, and he really has to watch out because on the side of Snow Tsunami, they have the Adagio. They can constantly heal themselves back up. However, on the side of Team Clytia, they don't have that same luxury.
Yeah, they absolutely do not. Clytia playing quite boldly in a few respects here. Acitor and John both extending further than I would expect them to. But Look at Me. He doesn't have his first big item, so I guess they feel like they can get away without dying if an engagement comes across. Taking stock of the game as a whole, just shy of 1,000 gold in the lead for Snow Tsunami. They're playing this very methodically, taking their time and not biting off more than they can chew. Clytia, on the other hand, might look to contest this gold mine. They want to make it happen. Good impale coming across, but the gold mine does not get stolen. No Life picking that one up. John, quite low here, but Dark Energy has rotated down. Core Collapse does not land. John obliterated by No Life. Acitor, he needs to get out of here now. Should be able to. Solar Storm turns around as well. Look at me, quite low, but the red mist coming across when all the crowd control is gone. No Life cleaning up shop, and Dark Energy has no energy. No Life is going to remove all the life from him, making the kill score 5-0. Snow Tsunami rolling through Clytia right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, Heliogenesis are not made of dark energy, but on the other side, look at me on this Rona.
This skin, they kind of are.
A little bit. All right, in any case, look at me on this Rona, just so on point. He's constantly in the middle of these battles, and he's constantly spinning, he's constantly doing damage, and just the foe splitter, the into the phrase, the red mist are just so on point right now.
Look at Me has got to be one of the great success stories of having a sub in a tournament, right? He took a managerial role and stepped back from play after the Winter Championships, but having to cover for PT Lamb, he's done an excellent job. Here comes what could be a fight, though, as Look at Me goes in yet again. Acitor taking a lot of damage. Sasiska, there's the gauntlet. There's no turret here for Clytia. This could be bad. Sasiska finding the first kill. John goes with a good blood song. That's a lot of AoE damage, but look at Me sustaining right back up. That's the red mist doing some work. John going down there. Dark Energy, he's just gonna have to back away. Can't really do much against 3 people as one. Clytia, they keep getting caught out.
Yeah, it's no Snow, just showing their experience. Their drafts are so strong, and even though they did get a little, in my opinion, a little bit outdrafted this game, they are still able to play it correctly. They know what they're up against, they know what they need to do to mitigate the damage, and they know when to push their advantages.
They do indeed. Snow Tsunami has been pushing those advantages pretty solidly for the last 2 or 3 minutes. They waited quite some time before they pressed the go button, but since they have, they've looked fairly unstoppable. Clytia, they need to find some kind of an avenue back into this game.
Yeah, one thing on Clytia, though, that I do have to point out is having to engage.
Yeah, Acitor getting caught out again, face-checking the tri-bush. Look at the damage down onto him. He gets a good Githian wall, but No Life has what it takes to take down the kill. Clytia, they've got 2 members left standing as Acitor falls again. One of the weakest performances we've seen from him on Lance, 0-4-0.
Yeah, definitely getting countered hard by Snow Tsunami right now. And one thing we do have to point out for Team Clytia is that they're not fighting around their item spikes. Their power spikes, they are not yet level 8 on that Celeste. Last time when they took an engagement, they did not have Broken Myth on Dark Energy, even though he had the gold for it. So they're just fighting with incomplete items.
Yeah, that is a very painful prospect when Snow Tsunami is so stacked in the inventory, but here comes a double root out of Acitor. Look at Me does get very low, but the Solar Storm not landing onto the right target. Fountain popped. No Life and Sasiska might want to turn this one around, but they got to be aware that John is coming back from base quite soon. Look at Me goes in anyway. Look at the red mist doing a lot of work here. He's sustaining. He jumps out again. Acitor can't find the impale. Even in a fight where Clytia had the positioning advantage, had the high ground of the home field, they still could not take a single member of Tsunami down. They want more though. Acitor coming back in here with the impale, rolling away. That's left John out to dry. Oh, one more attack would have done it, but No Life can't quite get the kill. Acitor looking, try and get away here. Does get spotted out by the scout trap, but he should be able to get away safely.
Yeah, he'll be just okay. He's going to be able to recall. And right now, in that engagement, you actually saw Team Clytia, John was still dead, so he was not in that engagement. If Snow Tsunami dove as 3 against the 3 of Clytia, I think they probably would have lost a couple members. But because they knew that the death time was still ticking, they were able to go for that dive, be very, very aggressive, and continue to pressure Team Clytia.
All right, so looking forwards towards the late game, towards that 17-minute mark, if Clytia can survive until that point, does Dark Energy come alive? Is that how they get back into this game?
Honestly, I think Dark Energy is actually going to be able to do a lot of damage already at this point in the game. However, No Life is just healing so much. However, it really is up to Acitor and John to just peel, focus on peeling, and make sure they stay alive.
Right now, they need to do some peeling for themselves as Snow Tsunami starts to roll towards their base, finds them trying to take the minion miner. Acitor does buy a bit of time. Core Collapse stopping Look at Me from going too deep, but a great gauntlet. That was insane. Picking up 2 stuns on 2 sides of the ability. Dark Energy forced back. Acitor needs to run away here, but Snow Tsunami, if they want to, can easily hunt him down. Look at the damage from No Life as well, chunking through Dark Energy's health with every single basic attack. They've decided the turret is what they want to focus on here, leaving Acitor to get away. They should be able to pick up the turret quite quickly, though.
Yeah, this turret is almost starting going down. It does drop right now. That's the 3rd turret down for the side of Team Clytia. This is looking very, very dangerous. 11 minutes in, a 6,000 gold lead. This is No Tsunami just once again dominating.
Yeah, their experience really showing in this game. Obviously, back in the day, we had Look At Me playing for the team, so it's not as if coming in as a sub, they don't have the synergy there. They absolutely do. And this game has been even more dominant than game one. 8 kills to 0. Clytia struggling to put even a single point on the board. Acitor, he thinks they might be in there, but he's by himself, so boldly deciding to go in for the fight. He has no backup. He's going to be going down. Nerves maybe getting the better of Clytia right now.
Honestly, I don't think that was a bad play from the side of Aster. He's actually just buying time for John to get a little bit of farm on the side of Tsunami's jungle, and he is giving up his life. He's not worth much though, so it doesn't actually matter too much for him. He's just trying to figure out how can I get my carries farm and how can I prevent the bleeding.
Okay, so what items do Clytia need? Because I feel like Acitor going for that early Warhorn plus Fountain is maybe not defensive enough.
Yeah, honestly, it looks like Dark Energy is going for that Eve of Harvest. I don't really think that is what he needs right now. He just needs more damage. He needs to be the one doing the damage to the side of Tsunami, because right now, look at me with the red mist, with the surface mask, and no life healing him. He is nigh unkillable.
Yeah, Acer, nice and pale there, doing some style points, but Dark Energy, you were touching on his itemization, his damage earlier on. I think it's worth noting that in all of these fights, he is keeping his distance. He's not going down quickly. All the focus is onto the front line of Clytia. You can see Tsunami trying to do that yet again, but they can't quite get in there. Good disengage from Clytia to keep him safe for the time being. If Dark Energy isn't getting focused, which he isn't in these fights, he should be able to get that damage off.
Yeah, it's actually very interesting because I do believe Tsunami is trying to take him down because he is the primary damage threat of Team Clytia. However, his positioning is on point right now, and he does have 2 additional basically at this point peel bots for him, so it's very, very tough to get onto him.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Dark Energy has died once out of the 9 kills Snow Tsunami has picked up. He's doing a great job. He needs to keep doing that good of a job, but also do a bit better. That's the situation he's in right now.
Yeah, the main thing is he has to land those healers. He has to be very, very much on point with landing his abilities because he is the primary source of damage, and it's actually very difficult because he is trying to keep his distance, but that means it's also much harder for him to land those abilities.
If you look at how these players are stacking up against one another, John right now with only 1 completed tier 3 item to the several of Look At Me could be in a bad situation as Look At Me tries to go for the fight. Can't get the jump onto Dark Energy. All of Clytia very close to their platform, should be able to get back and heal up. Tsunami, they're not even necessarily playing around objectives right now. They're just chancing their luck with engages whenever they can.
Yeah, you actually saw the last fight. Team Clytia actually played it very, very well. Right there, Dark Energy was able to disengage fairly well. John came in with the Alfred, knocked away Look At Me, and Dark Energy was able to land a multi-person core collapse, and Aster was able to use that Githyan wall properly and disengage even further. So if they can continue to do that, if they can continue to just peel for Dark Energy without taking too much damage on the front line, they should be okay, but they might have fallen too far behind already.
Yeah, 6 and a bit thousand gold. Snow Tsunami in the lead by a tremendous amount here, given the time in the game. We've got 10 seconds till the Kraken spawns. Clytia are going to be hard-pressed to contest this. They're really going to need to pick a good fight in their base with their turrets if they want to come out ahead. Should be an interesting one as the Kraken enters the fold.
Yeah, and we see Kraken climbing out of her pit right now. And Team Clytia, they are definitely on the back foot, but oh, this could be dangerous.
Yeah, they're going to be going for a fight here. Look At Me right onto the back line. Dark Energy going to be the main focus here. No life, trying to get the damage down, but he's actually very, very low right now. Dark Energy gets obliterated. Look At Me untouched on the back line. He's doing so much work right now. It feels like Clytia, it's the same situation they were in last game against Celeste and Rona. This time, it's Adagio and Rona. You've got 2 threats to worry about. You can't deal with either.
Yeah, and Tsunami just playing these fights so cleanly right now, and they're almost starting to take down Aster and take the Kraken and potentially end the game. Right there in that fight, it was actually very interesting because we saw the gauntlet come out of Sosisko, which was very, very much on point. It landed on top of Dark Energy. However, it's actually because I believe he actually faceplanted into a wall, and it slightly adjusted the landing position of that gauntlet.
Okay, so we did see the ace come out at the very tail end of that fight. 0 seconds on the timer is what I saw left for the respawn of Dark Energy. So that's going to give a bit of an extra push for the side of Snow Tsunami as they pick up the Kraken, make their way towards the base. They have not died yet a single time, certainly showing that they feel like they are ready to be in the semifinals here, that they deserve to be in the semifinals. Clytia on the flip side, they're kind of falling apart right now. They need a miracle to get back into this game and have contention for the semifinals position this early early on in the tournament. If they lose, they do not get knocked out just yet. They go down to the elimination bracket. They have a chance to come back in the next 2 series of the day. Here comes the Kraken, though. Can Snow Tsunami close it out right here?
Yeah, it's going to be very, very tough for Team Clytia to defend against this. They do have the Celeste who can do some significant damage, but look at me, he's jumping in.
Yeah, trying to go for the opportunity there. Siska stunned into the turret's remains. No life. Oh, he gets hit by a core collapse. That could be bad as John tries to jump on the back line. A good impale coming across. Oh, what? Solar Storm misses everyone. Dark Energy whiffed his key skill right there. And Siska able to get out as well. This is a devastating push. There is no way for Clytia to stop the Kraken, to stop Snow Tsunami from coming in for the win here. Snow Tsunami in a 2-0 victory over Team Clytia. Move forward to the semifinals.
And exactly 0 deaths. That was a perfect game coming out from Snow Tsunami. Just so well played. Their composition, they played it to perfection. They knew what they were up against on side Team Clytia. Team Clytia, they were doing everything they could, peeling for Celeste, trying to keep their distance, but it just did not matter. Snow Tsunami just constantly engaging with the gauntlet, and so Siska just getting multiple stuns every single time.
We really saw the power of Rona showcased by Snow Tsunami in that series. A threat that big on the front line can really be enough of a defense for your threat on the back line in so many situations. They did a great job of not falling behind in the early game, something that Clytia would have capitalized on in either one, and really showed that Snow Tsunami, even with the substitute, are contenders.